No images, no scent, no feeling. Till actions of reactions before I even witnessed light caused sparks, igniting over and over again till parts of me became connected. As I began to see, I smelled perplexity, feel this strange man's eyes as he felt my injections, yet he holds me. And as the room becomes more vivid, my interest in who he is diminishes. As I see a woman and a young girl in the far room looking at me like I'm a monster. But he smiles at me. He sits me down in the corner of the room and walks away, and he picks the young girl up in the same way, so I realize that it must be his daughter. So I scream out to him, "Am I your son?" addressing him like a father, and I realize that silence is my gift. Because sound presents itself with no essence. They carry on the conversation. As tears begin to fall from his eyes, she begins to cry and cling to his side. And I realize that the woman must be the mother because she wears worry like a garment, and then she speaks a language foreign to me, but from the look in her eyes, I can tell she's asking him what's next. He sits speechless. Tremors in his breath take place as his heart beats like fractured sticks upon a tethered canvas. He grips his chest as he reaches past to the grasp. His fingers race like spiders across my limbs, lashing them 2 times in the shape of an X till I find myself tightened around the crevices of his shoulders. Abandonment leaves him. He becomes reminded of the velvet grip of his daughter's legs. Sand grinding between my straps and his back echoes like static, so I grow confused. I can't figure my purpose. If only I could have a mouth to speak instead of these wires, RDX powders and the texture of motor oil from with blush seat, maybe I can interpret the patterns of beads of sweat pouring from his pores and answer the questions that he ponders on. If only I could have arms able to wipe away the worries that flow towards his eyes between frowns and conceals his thoughts from me like twisted metaphors of what he wonders on, maybe he won't close the door of reasoning on his reason for living. As he and I leave and he places his first step towards the risk for that fabricated freedom, because the family never feels free when he leaves just the emptiness of broken dreams and the taunts of vicious screams when reality bears down, but he doesn't realize how much his presence is needed. He wipes sweat from his eyes and allows the sun to paint his face in despair and confidence. Sand and rock now colliding and shifting against his feet as if Gaia and the angel of death are masturbating to the oncoming war scene. How many more war screams must ring off in the ears of my family? He asked me, but I have no answer. His long breath goes to pants as he climbs in the back of a Humvee, labeled in his language, this is what God sees. Unanimously, they all scream, Yehoshua Mashiach, Hashem. Yahweh, Yehoshua Mashiach, Silan, Lokai, Ajiye. He begins to pray as his hand tightens around the barrel of a dusty rifle. The harmony of guns begins to replace the melody of the wind. Meanwhile, his other hand conceals a device that I recognize oh so well, never to have seen it before. But anyways, back to what he sees, as the sands begin eating away the tracks of his last known past, he sees the pupils of his pupil. As her eyes are filled with his redemption, his begin to fill with repentance. Take time. As her eyes are filled with his redemption, his began to fill with his repentance. As her face becomes erased to the residue in ash and gun smoke, the sound of his daughter's laughter is replaced with explosion, and the smell of his wife's hair becomes ascended to the home of pestilence. How could the vision of what I witnessed grow to be so vicious? Meanwhile, he begins to pray as his words are unclear to me till he speaks Ashe, and he hurls his rifle towards men with different skin. Why do they run from you? I scream, but yet he can't hear my screams where he then create a scene. In that instant, 1,000,000 grains of sand begins to reflect 10,000 memories of his heart's true intentions. It's revealing 100 images of probably just 10 more seconds he probably wishes he can witness before this one moment. And in that instant, the combination of chaos and embers began to look like crystals as if heaven was listening. At that moment, I realized my purpose and who we truly held closest. How my name is CE, carving explosive. Boom.